Question: many are troubled by passages like Hebrews 10, if we deliberately keep on sinning, and Matthew 7, not everyone who says, Lord, Lord. How should we think about these verses in light of assurance? What kind of pastoral care or counseling would you offer somebody? Joel.
This is how much respect I get here. I just want you to know. They're all smiling at me. Can you tell? And I can tell. To be honest, my guess is there are many pastors here with lots of experience and insight into those who struggle with their faith. And I think one of the things that I enjoyed today in terms of the lectures, all of them, I learned something from it. But in particular, I appreciated Dr. Van Drunen's discussion, especially as the confession in chapter 18 lays out in ways that people have struggled and people have wandered away at times along the way. And here, as we think about the struggles that people might have within the church, I wonder if there are at least a couple touch points that we could at least engage and understand. One of the points that was made was the understanding, I think this was Mike Horton's point, that in the church, there are true believers and non-believers. And we recognize that within the church are those individuals who may have some elements that they display, but in many ways they have not truly believed nor understood who Jesus is and what he has done for us. And this is why 1 John, in talking about some of the churches and the people within the church, they're of us, but they're not really of us. Meaning that using that prepositional phrase in two different ways to recognize they may have spent time with us, but they didn't have genuine faith in the first place. That may be true. And I think the reality is, and sometimes the huge difficulty is, that there are people who for various reasons spend time within the church attending, inquiring, and perhaps even enjoying elements of what it means to belong to a community of faith. But genuine faith is not what they possess, and they may walk away, but the scripture seems to say when they do and if they do, it's not because they lost their faith. They were never of us in the first place. At the same time, I think it's worth remembering for us and being reminded that there are moments, I think the description was the jagged mountain road that people have seen. And my guess is that there are many parents who are here whose kids have perhaps walked away from faith, in many ways struggling with the fact that they become prodigals in some way. The reminder to many of us as we think about it is we see the whole of life of faith and not a particular slice and moment. That even as we see those who may struggle and have walked away from faith, we recognize that the Lord is good and kind. And for those who are struggling with the faith, even as the confessions admit, are not lost forever. And that indeed the Lord through his work will bring them home and into the fold. And I say that only because, especially as phrases like prodigal son or prodigal daughter is used, we recognize that it's found within chapter 15 of Luke in particular, where the whole point is the Father's pursuit of those who are lost. Whether it's a coin, whether it's a lost sheep, or a child, we recognize that those who had genuine faith, the Lord will not let the child depart. And so we are convicted by that, and we believe that to be true. And no prayer with tears for our children or those who are struggling with their faith will go void, is what we want to be able to say. So on the one hand, we recognize that there are those of us who may have been among us who were never of us. But at the same time, I don't want that to sound like simply, if they depart from us, good riddance. Don't let the door hit you is how we should think of them. But pray for the Lord's grace to be upon them and the restoration that we hope to see in them as well.
That's great. Thank you.
Seems like a mic. I think it makes all the difference in the world what kind of covenant theology you're talking about. A covenant theology that emphasizes.
Let me see if your mic got bumped there.
What did you touch, Mike?
Just as soon as it came into my hands. There, okay. You feel good now, don't you? I do. Yeah.
You need me.
Yeah, yeah. So, if you have a covenant theology that really emphasizes